welcome to a new video of mine. So today I have the monthly wrap up for you and the wish for probably I'm gonna read that next month also included. This month is, or like last one's March, was one of the slow reading, not rather like slow reading, but I really got to read because I had to study for my exam and the exam season's still going on. So only read 2 books, and the one book that I said I was gonna finish because there were only like 100 or 80 pages left, I did not finish, spoiler for you. So the first book that I read was The Do-Over by Lynn Painter, which is the second young adult romance book, and it was so cute. And it kind of plays like it's about Emily, who's in high school, and she's like this well-behaved girl. She's like looking forward into the future. She's trying her best because she has to get a scholarship to then be able to even attend college because the parents cannot pay for college. And then one day on February 14th, on Valentine's Day, she also has a boyfriend. When she plans like everything out, like she does every day, everything goes not the way she planned. But then she's like, okay, well, tomorrow is a new day and I have to live with this. But tomorrow is not the next day. Tomorrow is again February the 14th. And this continues on and on and on. So it's a book essentially about the time loop. And I've already read one book about a time loop and it was not not well written, because it really felt like this dragging every detail and again and again and again the same day. And honestly, I know this is what the character is feeling like, but I don't want to feel like this when I'm reading it because it's just like closer to DNFing this book. We do not want that, right? So it was really fast-paced, it was really cute, it was sweet because it's also a romance, obviously, as I already said. And then one day when she finally does all the things that we should never do, because she finally gives up on trying to perfect this one day because it goes wrong all over again and again and again. She wakes up and it is February the 15th. And I really like the premise, I really like the book by her, and it was just really sweet romance type of thing. Closed door, by the way, if you're interested in that. And the next book that I read was Mr.Wrong Number. It's also by Lynn Painter. And because I love the young adult books and there are only like 2 out at the moment, I thought, why not read the adult romance? I'm a person that enjoys closed door romance. I do not like any type of open door romance. There was some in this book, not that much, and after I had to experience the first one, I googled, and I think there are 3 chapters in which something like open door romance is happening. So if this is not for you, I kind of still want to recommend the book for you because it's really interesting. It's about a girl that, well, she loses her job, she's 25 I think, and then she has to move in with her brother again because her apartment burned down and she's the one who, well, there's a reason why it burned down. And she's trying to look for a new job, but there's also the roommate of her brother who's really annoying, and they want to kick her out after 1 month because the building, or the apartment rather, belongs to the best friend of her brother and not her brother. And her brother was like kind enough to try to convince his roommate that she could stay. So she's looking for a job. On the other hand, she also gets a text by a random number. That's why it's called Mr.Wrong Number. And it is pretty weird, like the type of things you do not want to get from a weird number. I don't know, but she kind of goes on with it because she thinks it's kind of funny and it's probably embarrassing for the person who texted her. And then they text back and forth, and she kind of falls for him. She likes talking to him, and this continues on. And well, you have to read the book to find out who actually is Mr. Wrong Number. And I thought it was really cute up until the open door romance happening. And I really liked it because it also felt very like fast paced, as I was like already used to by Better Than the Movies and the other Do-Over, which I already talked about by Lynn Painter. And I'm pretty excited, even though there might be more open door romance, to read all the other books by her. So the book which I did not finish was Gender Troubles. I know it's just 80 pages, but if you have to research a lot and have to read a lot of academic papers, this is the last thing that's on my mind to, yay, read another academic paper thing in my free time. No, obviously not. So then I do not really know what I want to read in April, but I definitely want to finish The Chain of Thorns by Christina Clare. I also have the physical copy here, and it's too heavy and too risky to carry it in my backpack or in my suitcase because I do not want to damage it at all, because it is a paperback. Well, as you may know, it's prone to damage. But Chain of Thorns is essentially the last book in the new series by Cassandra Clare, which plays in between the Infernal Devices and Mortal Instruments. I really like it, but at the moment it's probably like all the relationships that were built up in the second book and then were torn down in the second book, so it's like a lot of heartache and something like this. I already read approximately, I think, 100 pages, but nothing much, because I also have to do some things like presentations or write papers at the moment for university, so but I have to finish it before I move back to the Netherlands in like 1 week, so we'll see how that will go. Then I thought about reading The Girls I've Been, because I discovered it in my bookshelf, even though it's a TBR. I don't know how that got there, but that's also the reason why I stopped reading it probably, because I got to page 50 and I remember it being interesting, honestly. This is The Girls I've Been, and honestly I bought it because of the cover. It is about, to understand my story, you first have to know about the girls I've been. And that starts with my delightful con artist mother, because I didn't choose a life of deception, I was born into it. 5 years ago I escaped and became Nora, who has a nice normal life in a nice normal neighborhood. Until this morning, when I found myself at gunpoint in the middle of a bank heist with my ex-boyfriend and my new girlfriend. Talk about awkward. The first thing I thought was get down. The second thing, we're all gonna die because I stopped to buy donuts on the way to the bank. And the third thing, I'm the only one who can get us out here alive. Because the gunmen have no idea who I really am. And that girl has been hiding for far too long. It looks nice, it looks so pretty, and it sounds so promising. I read the first 50 pages, as I already said. I really want to read the end of it, honestly, because it's so sad looking, like at the beginning, having the bookmark and not having read it. But you know what? What's also interesting, it actually has a real bookmark in it and not something else. But the other book that like my sister brought to me, because she was like, oh, it's not interesting at all, and it was like, okay, it kind of says something to me, like the title, because it's called The Little Life, as far as I remember. And it is by Maha, and I'm so sorry, I'm gonna post it here. And you can see the surname of the person, but I'm not gonna try to pronounce it because there's no way I am able to pronounce it, I'm sorry. And I started reading it because she was like, oh, it's so boring and it's so badly written, I don't like it, and it's also so thick. But maybe TikTok made her buy it. And then I started reading it and I could not put it down, actually. Like, I mean, I read like 2 chapters of it so far because I really like, the only way that I was able to put it down was like, okay, wow, if I start this book now, then I cannot read Chain of Thorns, and Chain of Thorns is like my all-time favorite fantasy world, so this was the only way I could put this book down. It sounds pretty promising, honestly, so maybe I'm gonna read that, maybe I'm gonna attempt reading it because it's also pretty thick. But yeah, Little Life is essentially about, I think, 4 high school graduates who go to New York and want to pursue their careers, and how then their friendship evolves in New York City, and how, yeah, essentially also their life unfolds. And I started reading it, I really enjoy it. I don't know why my sister put it down, maybe because those people are not able, maybe she's not able to relate to those people, because I think then again, she's in her teens and those people are adults and they're more close to my age than they are to hers. But yeah, those are essentially the books I'm planning on reading this month. And, or, I mean, this one is pretty thick, so maybe I'm planning on starting this month is a better premise. That's for this video. I hope I could give you some book recommendation that you might want to read, and see you next time. Bye!